Hello and welcome back to Webcast News. It is Thursday, new day, more news. Firstly, in film news, the new James Bond film has had a lot of information released on it today in a live stream with the title of the film and the cast members being released. Bond 24 will now be called Spectre, and Daniel Craig will remain as James Bond, starring alongside Andrew Scott, Dave Bautista, along with Monica Bellucci, Leah Sedans and Christopher Waltz, who is expected to be the villain. Something interesting that some people are speculating and some bookies are looking at is that the Queen could make an appearance in the film after her little sketch with Daniel Craig as James Bond for the 2012 Olympics opening ceremony. The favourite to sing the new Bond theme is currently Sam Smith, with Ed Sheeran in second, according to William Hill. And finally on this, for the car fans, the Aston Martin is returning to the film after weird rumours that he was going to be driving a Fiat 500. Who seriously thought that a Fiat 500 was going to be used in a Bond film? You know, the Aston Martin is like the most iconic car in film history. Next, to follow on with the film themes, sort of, but also the books, Harry Potter has had a resurgence because people care about that still. Some superfans in Poland turned a castle, is also a college, into Hogwarts for 4 days, in which around 190 people attended over the 4 days from 11 different countries. It was such a success that they're now going to be hosting 2 more of these events in April 2015. They actually do proper courses in magic as well, so if you want to do that, go for it if you are over 18 and have the equivalent of €280 to spend on a trip to Poland. So there you go, Harry Potter fans. I've sorted out your next holiday. I'm just going to stay in my boring, normal world, you know. Now for something I wasn't really going to bring up because it's more American news and I'm looking more at British news, but it is something that's really big, and that is the killing of Eric Garner. Now, he was killed by Officer Daniel Panteo on July 17th after Mr. Garner was found illegally selling loose cigarettes on the side of the streets. Now, unfortunately what happened was that Officer Panteo illegally used a chokehold on Mr. Garner, didn't let go, and there's actually video footage of Mr. Garner shouting, "I can't breathe," and then he passes out and subsequently dies from the chokehold. Now what makes it worse is that the NYPD strictly forbids the use of a chokehold from its officers. Now this has been back again after a grand jury decided not to indict Officer Panteo, and now there are protests going on, mainly in New York but also all around the country, which are also linked to the killing of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. Now, unlike the killing of Michael Brown, where there's a lot of up in the air about that one because no one really knows fully what happened and there's a lot of he said, she said in there. This case in New York actually had a police officer with a camera on, and there is video evidence of what happened. And Mr. Garner shows no obvious threat to any of the police officers, and then the officer just jumps on his back, starts with a chokehold, and just kills him. So for him not to be indicted is ridiculous, really. The Justice Department are, however, reviewing all the evidence from the case and are looking into their own civil rights probe of the case to bring their own verdict on this. It does seem ridiculous that neither of these police officers have been indicted, but I don't know all the details. I don't know really the full story, so what happens happens, and I just hope there's a peaceful resolution from all of this. Finally, an update on the story that I spoke about yesterday of a missing mother and her baby after 30-year-old Charlotte Bevan walked out with her 4-day-old baby from a Bristol hospital on Tuesday night. Unfortunately, a woman's body which is expected to be that of Charlotte Bevan has been found near Clifton Suspension Bridge, about 1.5 miles away from the hospital. Now what makes this weirder is that the baby has still actually not been found, and they don't actually know where the baby is. There was actually a walker across the bridge who came across Mrs. Bevan's belongings, and then the police found her body in a gorge. It's actually now coming out that Mrs. Bevan was actually on medication for depression, and she actually stopped taking it because she wanted to breastfeed her baby, and she had also already been given treatment for schizophrenia. There's also now released CCTV footage from the hospital showing Mrs. Bevan walk out with her 4-day-old baby, and no one stops her. She walks past a few nurses and nobody takes any notice at all. But I suppose when you see so many people going in and out with babies in a maternity ward, you kind of just think that they're going home. So I'm not going to blame anyone in this. I don't think anyone can really. That is it for today's video on the channel. Hope you found it interesting, hope you enjoyed it, and as always, thanks for watching.